guys, welcome to my channel, guys. So a lot of people believe that there is a high level of injustice that is going on in Nigeria. All right. So I wouldn't want to say much about that, but I want you guys to understand that the level at which things are going with the citizens of same countries, that you can do something and immediately you say, more especially you come to the social media and say it before you know it. Some group of guys or some police will just come and they will take you, and that is it. So but then it is time the people needs to actually stand on their feet, because the level of injustice at which we are seeing with the case of Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu, it's got to end. That's just the truth. So I wouldn't want to say too many about this particular video, but please, I want you guys to pay attention to what happened and what and how it was discussed in this particular video. All right, so the world has come to know that no, this thing that is happening between these two leaders of this said country, Biafra, that it got to come to end. All right, so let's go straight into this particular video update, and we'll be right back.
Dealing with these extremists in whatever color, in whatever means, in whatever way they think they are. A lot of people are blaming the federal government on what happened to Sheikh Gumi, but the federal government themselves have become a victim somewhere. Christopher Musa, Bola Tinubu, Babio, was not allowed in a peace summit in Switzerland as a result of child right abuse, human rights abuse, leadership corruption, a lot of things. You cannot go to Switzerland. Switzerland is the only country in
even
the
they
world.
want to do peace summit. Yes. And a country like Nigeria, where there is no peace, where Christians are killing on a daily basis.
On daily basis. Ghana went through. Ordinary Somalia went through. Nigeria was excluded from that. It tells a lot of story about how the world perceives Nigeria at the moment. But it is not what anybody can come out and say federal government was actually behind Gumi. It is very possible because the North and the South, are having issues politically over how we are to align to and we are not to align to, and these people now are giving Bola Ahmed Tinubu serious headache in terms of killing or causing insecurity. That yesterday there was reported massive killing in Benue and other communities.
Again,
and they are pushing towards the eastern part of the country. Benue people, the Idoma, are rushing towards Enugu, and Pitamba seems to be another questionable governor within the geographical location of the southeast, because we don't know where he stands, whether he's on the side of the Fulani or he's on the side of the people. But the people are being killed on daily basis. So I think after a careful research and study, Sheikh Gumi, who happens to be from Kaduna, a radicalized Islamic scholar who promotes anything that has to do with Fulanization and Islamization agenda, which are not too comfortable. I remember some time ago, just a few months ago, where Donald Trump, the United States of America, enacted a policy against anti-Christian killing, killing of Christians in the world. I think that process it has to go through some legislation before they finally make it public. Where they are coming up with a kind of a pro agenda for the protection of Christians all over the world who are being killed by these extremists on daily basis. So Gumi, look at Gumi. There was a time Saudi Arabia also published the names of terrorists who are sponsored. IPOB name was not there.
Or you mean UAE?
UAE, yes. United Arab Emirates was there about. You understand? Published, and IPOB name was not included. There was nobody who mentioned IPOB. So
the name of Nnamdi Kanu.
Or the name of Nnamdi Kanu, even Simon Ekpa. Can you imagine? Nobody even mentioned that. Now, because of what they slap, the ban, the deportation of the so-called man, they call it the highest radicalized extremist in scholar, and nobody dare him. Saudi Arabia authorities disgraced him and sent him back to the forest to go and meet the bandits, so that they'll continue.
You can perform Hajj in Sambisa.
Go to a forest in Sambisa forest and perform your Hajj there. Not in Saudi Arabia, and they are pushing it to federal government. But I can tell you, that from the feeling we are having from the north, they are already accusing IPOB lobbyists in Donald Trump's government, and they are already blaming IPOB. They are blaming Simon Biafran government in exile. Dr. Ngozi Orakwe, they are the one that they are using US, to get Saudi Arabia to ban Sheikh Gumi from performing Haji in. Yes, you can give it to Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives in America. You can give it to Swiss Wills, who is, the chief of staff, a Biafran lobbyist, IPOB lobbyist in Trump's government. You can also give it to Mercy McCarthy, another one that just is already surrounded and confirmed, that these Biafran lobbyists who have worked with the IPOB in the past are already within the space of, getting the attention of the American President Donald Trump on the issue of Christian killing that has been centered as an issue within the congressmen, within the Oval Office, within the administration of Donald Trump, who is already working out a lot of modality. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and already the Speaker of the United States government has already given a clue that the president of America, who happens to be the president of the world, has the executive order powers, to decolonize Nigeria. Over the killing of Christians in Nigeria, and with that, there are a lot of signal that it comes with trying to restrict, some of these people who are connected and associated with the issue of Christian killing in Nigeria, and Gumi, has have this extremist view of support for herdsmen, Boko Haram, including Buhari. At every negotiation, if there is any, they point out Gumi and they point out former president of Nigeria, Buhari, to negotiate on their behalf. And everybody is wondering, what is actually Buhari going to negotiate with people who has more than over 300,000 Nigerians, and nothing is being done. And until date, there are still so much infiltration in the south, and we see the kind of approach the government is using in that regard. But that tells you what the outside world are already seeing it. What the rise of Nnamdi Kanu, the rise of Dr. Ngozi Orakwe, the rise of Samuel Ekpa, in trying to get the world attention of the conquest that's already going on. And these are the people, when you look at them, they preach extremism in their reservations. They punch civility, they destroy human existence, they destroy existence, they destroy nations, they destroy Saudi Arabia does not want their country to be destroyed, and they don't want to be perceived as welcoming people who have sympathy over the killing of other people, over the killing of other citizens of the world. And I think to an extent, people are also trying to connect it to the recent visit of Donald Trump to Saudi Arabia, because the Saudi government authorities have, a very strong ties with U.S. government,
especially Donald
Trump, and look at what they say is the best president of the world. That was coming from the Saudi prince. There's no president like Donald Trump, and you can see the deal they went into. Running to billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. Donald Trump was able to strike a deal with the Saudi government, and some of these things, money has been paid already. So his outing in the Middle East without visiting Israel was a success. And one of those things I can tell you diplomatically, issues of Biafra were being discussed in Saudi Arabia, and they were informed over the Donald Trump stand over the killing of Christians in Africa, especially Nigeria has always been singled out, and that was why the Speaker of the House, made it mandatory that the likes of these people now, any moment from now, will be banned automatically from leaving Nigeria, will be banned automatically
in South Africa,
Saudi Arabia, he
was deported. What is your reaction to that?
Thank you for that wonderful question. For me, for now, it is obvious that now Nigerians have not known those who are behind insecurity in Nigeria. Even without mixing our words or mixing our words, it is obvious. For Saudi Arabia, this is not the first time Gumi has been attending the Hajj in Saudi, but this time Saudi is saying they don't want anything that will link them to the issue of terrorism, in which they know that Gumi has been a major sympathizer to the Fulanis who have been buying people here and there. And now you know how vocal Donald Trump is, and then he's ready to go to any length to sanction any country involved in this issue of terrorism. So Saudi Arabia was so quick and smart coming to Nigeria now. Gumi came out to say that his visa was denied. That was the press statement. That was the narrative he was pushing yesterday, in which every Nigerian knows that was not actually what happened. In the first place, if your visa was denied, you will not gain access into the country. But yesterday, the government of Saudi Arabia has come out has released an official statement saying that the reason why Gumi was being deported is that Gumi is a major financier of not just bandits in Nigeria, across Africa, and then see across the globe. So they know the danger of allowing him into their country. They know the impediment. So what I want to say is that the Nigerian government are not serious. If the Nigerian government are very serious, yesterday when Gumi was deported,
He's supposed to be arrested.
DSS ought to abandon him, DSS ought to abandon him into the facility for him that what is happening. That this is time, but the same if it were to be an Igbo man yesterday that such thing has happened to, DSS would have been on red alert to bundle the person down to the office. But now for them to play on Gumi because they are scared, because Sheikh Gumi is from the Fulani extraction, and the Fulani extraction as people presume that Fulani owns Nigeria. That is why they are scared. Up to now, the presidency is mom.
But they say they are defending Gumi, and they are trying to establish contact and ask why Gumi was deported. But that's not where we're going. We saw Nnamdi Kanu at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, and we saw this man. Who among them now is the terrorist?
You don't need a soothsayer to tell you who a terrorist is. We've seen when Buhari was the president, we see how Gumi take pictures with these guys and claiming he is the middleman. Who does that? In a civilized world, see, you cannot have a thief as a friend and you exempt yourself not being a thief. You are also a thief, because for you to establish contact with a thief, automatically you are a thief. That is the name Saudi Arabia has refused. Saudi Arabia don't want the people to paint them a bad name. Saudi Arabia knows exactly what they are doing. Just that the Nigerian government is not serious. If really we are serious, yesterday would have been a very glaring evidence that Gumi ought to be arrested. This is not the first time Gumi has been going to Hajj.
Are you seeing? Are you sensing that US might be behind this? Finally, are you sensing that Donald Trump might have? Because they are not allied to US. Saudi Arabia is not allied to. Are you sensing? Because we have been going to Saudi Arabia.
We saw what happened. That even the South African president, Ramaphosa, he was being scolded at the Oval Office. What Trump was telling him that this is what you are doing in your country. So every country now is very careful, because when it comes to Trump,
they know what is happening in Nigeria.
They know what happened in Nigeria, and they know that Trump can go extra miles to bring in anybody. So that's why Saudi was very, very careful yesterday to deport Gumi, citing that Gumi is a major financier of the banditry in Nigeria. This is not just in Nigerian government will not see this. Nigerian media will not promote this. But now it is now even beyond Nigeria. It is now a global issue that Gumi has gone here to disgrace the whole nation. And yet in Nigeria, we see Gumi as the perfect man. We see Gumi as a mediator. We see Gumi as a gentleman. But over there in the world, they tag Gumi as a terrorist. Because if Gumi is not a terrorist, Saudi Arabia will not. Saudi Arabia needs money. He paid money for information. So why would they refund everything again all the money that he paid that come back to your country, we don't want to associate with a terrorist. So it shows that something is fishy, and there's something the Nigerian government is not telling us. Like probably if the Nigerian government has strike deals with the Fulani, let us know. Because I felt when Gumi was being deported, even me as a private citizen, I know that Gumi has been a middleman or the spokesman for the Fulani militia, but the government is yet to act on it. If it were the fact that the Igbo man committed crime outside Nigeria, you see Nigerian government gathering resources to go there and then bring the person back. But for how long can we continue like this?
Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on whatever you are watching us from. This is another edition of Community on the Street. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more inside this course. Pastor, the American goes to court in after 7 months. And his lawyer, as America, is saying that he does not want to, and America said he does not want close up trial. He said open trial should be conducted so that he can tell the whole world that the authorities that the government has committed against the Igbo nation. Pastor, do you think America will come out victorious in this? He said he does not want a closed up trial. He said he wants open trial. Pastor, how can you answer?
My brother, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are watching us from. I remember my humble self, Evangelist Benjamin Johnson, Ezesinachi, one and the only Biafran evangelist. My brother, I have to tell you the honest truth, because Biafrans always stand on the truth, and Biafrans is a nation, that knows the truth and nothing but the truth, and that is what we have been trained of. You understand? So, why should Finland, if Finland and Nigeria is sure and confident of the accusation that they leveled against Simon Ekpa? If you are sure of what you are saying, why then are you now trying to hide it? What is the meaning of closed door trial? Is there any trial that is called closed door? I've not heard that before. Why should I be talking about that rubbish? It is a total around nonsense. No, since you know you are confident of what you are saying, why are you not doing it secret? Is that the reason why in Nigeria here, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, masquerade are coming to bear a false witness of what they know not? Masquerade. Yes, masquerade in Nigerian court under the watch of Omotosho. Yes, James Omotosho. You can see them on the 14th and on the 18th and so forth. Now listen and listen good. The same game that I want to play in Finland. In fact, I thought that Finland have integrity. They don't have integrity. For them, I know, adhering to this, them adopting this kind of system. Where is it done that? You said that somebody committed an offense. Somebody committed a crime. And you say you want to do it secret. What makes it to be secret? If you really have confidence over what you are saying, it should be openly.